the Alton Sterling thing was kind of fucked up, but like.
Which one was Alton Sterling? The guy in the car?
Guy.
No, the fat
The
guy.
other guy.
I feel it's very strange because the officers had him on the ground. Shouldn't they have had control of his hands at that point?
That's what I was trying to explain to someone like yesterday. Like,
They didn't have control of his hands, though, right?
Yeah. They had control of one of his hands. They were wrestling with the other one, and
yeah, but you don't know what was going on with the other fucking hand. And if that guy had a hand on a gun or something, like you gotta,
and that's what the police officer stated, right?
Well, but no, I don't think he said it. He just screamed like gun, like he just like shouted.
I think if you read out the transcripts of it, he says he's got a gun.
He's going for his gun.
Yeah, he says gun twice. Like, he says gun first, like
when he identifies that it's in the pocket.
And
then he says it again when he's reaching for the gun.
Like, he's.
I mean, it may have been possible the guy was doing like the suicide by a cop thing, like right, he wanted to be shot, so he was pulling out the gun very obviously.
Didn't the guy have kids? I don't think he wanted to die.
I mean, dude, that doesn't mean shit.
If it's a black dude and he's got kids and he's still around, he probably really likes him. Sorry, I'm just kidding. That was really racist, my bad.
Wow.
Can you really feel bad for the guy getting shot up? Though initially I did, but at the end of the day, it's like a criminal running around with a gun. Cops are trying to contain the situation, take him down. He's not cooperating. Like at that point, if you end up getting shot,
literal
can you really
criminal sex offender?
Yeah, can you at that point really?
The only thing that's fucked up about it is he wasn't the reason that the police were called. Like, he was literally just caught, like, accidentally and then were shot. Like,
don't we kind of care about due process, though?
Yeah, but dude, it's like, listen.
You're like, it's okay, he got shot because he's a criminal.
Yankee, I was saying this yesterday on TS, but it's like, look, if you agree that probably the majority of cops are good, like let's say like 95% or something like that, and then the majority of people who are asked to get down on the ground, put your hands behind your back and don't and start fighting, if you would say the majority of them are bad, like 95%, then I think you owe it to try and see as much as possible if, is it possible I didn't see something in this video that the cops really did fear for their life? So I kind of try to side with the cops and all these fucking shenanigans that come up. The video is pretty fucking damning, though. But, you don't know what was going on with the other side. If he was reaching for a gun, had his hand on it, some shit like that. Like, I gotta, wait until kind of the more data comes up. But the dude was a scumbag.
But everything you're saying is okay for another country, but that's not how the United States of America works. Like, our cornerstone, like, one of the most important parts of our country, like, is the innocent until proven guilty. Like, that's like the cornerstone of all American law. Like, cops are not judge, jury, and execution. Like, that's not how it works. A police officer brings you in, and then it's up to the courts to decide, on the eyes of the people, whether or not you are guilty of having committed a crime. I'm just saying that because, I don't.
But that's not what we're arguing. But I mean, if the
no, hold on, wait. I'm speaking very specifically to you, saying like, well, what if somebody resisted? Like, don't you think that kind of means that they're a bad guy? Like, no. A cop can never, ever state that you have committed a crime or that you are a bad person or that you are guilty of whatever. That's not a cop's job. The police officer's job is to deliver you to the courts, and the courts are the ones that determine whether you've committed a crime. Always.
I completely
sure.
agree.
No, I'm
just saying, though, if you're going to be a scumbag, right, and fight with the cops, I think you have to expect that if a cop who's being paid $50,000 a year, we can argue, okay, they should get paid more, or they should, if they're in this job, they need to respect more, whatever. If your job all day literally is dealing with fucking scumbags all day long and putting your life at risk, and you see your officers maybe being killed by criminals, when you come up with a situation and you have to decide, okay, like if I wait another few seconds, I could be dead. The guy might not be going for a gun, he might be going for his wallet, but he's doing it really fucking shadily. He's on the ground, there's a gun in his pants, and he's going for his pants. Like, you are going to decide really quickly, like, do I
mean, what you're talking about is like hyper specific to individual cases. I would have to see like better footage. I mean, honestly, of the footage
like
that I saw,
knife video, like they can go and kill you before you can react, and that's why you need to be fucking vigilant. If they're acting shady and not listening, that's a fucking warning sign, and you need to be on edge if they're not listening to your commands.
Yeah, but that's part of being a cop, is like getting people's hands and shit under control. Like, you can't, like, you're using like a civilian approach to a situation. Like, well, I don't know, fuck, dude, I have to fucking kill him because who knows? Like, that's not, a police officer is supposed to have training to get situations like that under control without violent force, or I'm sorry, without lethal force being the first alternative to anything.
But it wasn't. They tried to take him down to the ground.
Well, man, I don't know. We are complaining to different things. I don't know in this particular thing whether or not they should have shot the guy or not. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just speaking in general.
Except for like a quick
yeah. Well, no, that a cop has to make that judgment call. But like, I don't know, like when the cop has someone on the ground, I guess, like, to point to another thing, did you ever see where they had that homeless dude that they ended up shooting?
Yeah, with the knife in Ohio, yeah.
No, it was a guy that they'd wrestled to the ground, and there were like 8 or 9 cops around him, and there was a homeless guy. that they ended up shooting in the middle of the street. If you watch the footage of that, even though I think the cops were pretty reckless there because I don't think he should ever be able to grab a gun, that was a scenario where the homeless guy was literally reaching for the guy's gun to try to shoot the cops, right? In that case, like I can see, I'm a little bit more sympathetic there to the police officers using lethal force. But in a case where you've got a guy wrestled to the ground already and you have at least one hand restrained, I just don't know if I'm buying that idea that the cops actually felt like their lives were in danger. Like it seems.
Well, I mean, what about if the guy's other hand was literally on the gun? At what point, like, do you say, okay, he has this?
I don't know. You need a body cam. You need a body cam for that, dog. No one can make that.
I 100% agree that there needs to be body cams on all cops. I just think that it's fucked up that, like, you know, the video looks fucked, but everyone, like, you know, there's fucking protests and shit. Like, all cops are fucking bad. Like, no, all fucking.
Let's see how these pigs try and justify this now. It's like, well, they
exactly.
I don't know, dude, but the problem is just that some of the videos look really fucking bad. That was like I've watched a lot of fucked up shit. That's the worst cop killing I've ever seen. They have him on the ground and the dude pulls out a fucking Glock and executes the dude on the ground. That was some pretty crazy shit. Hopefully, better footage gets released. Did the cops have body cams?
They fell off.
I haven't seen it. When you say he's on the ground, was he on his stomach? On the ground?
Literally on his
The guy is on he's like on his back. Was it his back or stomach?
Yeah, his back.
The guy is on his back. The police officer is like on his knees, kneeling in front of him, holding him down, and then pulls out his Glock and fucking executes the dude point blank.
Be trained to wait a second to see if it's a gun or a wallet?
Well, no, it's not a matter of waiting a second. It's a matter of securing his hands. It's a matter of no. I'm saying it's a matter of securing the hands of the perp. I don't know why they weren't able to do that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Like one person
such like a crazy situation too.
Isn't that what they're supposed to do? They're supposed to secure, and they're the ones that actually search.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if his hands aren't secure, he could reach for whatever is in his pocket, and like that's just 1 second, and you're dead.
Yeah, but if you've already taken him to the ground, like, isn't that part of what a cop does? Is they getting control of your hands? It's like the most important.
In the video, he doesn't have control of his other hand.
But the one thing is that you have to get a guy. But there was only 2 of them, right? So
yeah,
like, if the situation was rushed where they couldn't call for backup because this guy was literally about to fucking murder like 50 people, and they had to literally tackle him to the ground, and you only have 2 people, and that guy's fairly large too, dude. The black guy, he's not a small guy.
Did they need to tackle him to the ground though? Why was he even tackled?
We don't see that
I don't know, but I think
there was another.
But what if there was an urgency to tackle him to the ground?
I mean, it didn't look like it. He didn't have a weapon out. He wasn't reaching for anything.
We still don't know what happened.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's not enough. There's not enough in the video to be able to see.
That's where the body cam would come in handy.
From what I can like assume, like, because everyone, well, there's been other like reports and shit, but like the store owner basically said it wasn't. He didn't call the cops because of Sterling. Like he called him because of someone else, and they just tried to arrest him anyway.
What?
So,
where's that link?
It was posted like 20 times yesterday.
The report was like a guy with a red shirt waving a gun around.
And like, so they basically just assumed it was Sterling because he was the only person in a red shirt there, and
he happened to have a gun.
Yeah.
Can somebody link the video? I thought he was on his stomach, not on his back.
No, he got shot in the chest.
Okay. All right,
they literally like execute him in the chest. Yeah,
okay,
like,
got it.
3 or 4 shots.
If they're able to get him to the ground, and they're able to put his hands in cuffs.
No, they didn't
have him in cuffs.
They didn't have him in cuffs, no. But like the thing is just
supposed to. Like I don't.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. No, we don't know. We don't know why they tackled him. That's the big thing, right? Like we don't know why they tackled him. Like if the guy was acting like super belligerent and starting to shout at him, and it looked like he was going for something, then maybe, then it changes a lot, you know.
Since we're also talking about like only 40 seconds of like an entire interaction, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
It could probably
it's
like
just
ask some questions.
an occupational hazard, right? If you're going to be a criminal, and then cops are going to come to you and say, "Get on the fucking ground," and you don't do it. I feel like
okay, again. I have to give you. I understand that you don't agree with what I'm saying, but your whole paradigm of how you view this is wrong. If you're a criminal and you're doing those things, you're not a criminal until you've been taken to court and they've said that you're a criminal. A cop never approaches somebody like, this is a criminal and this is how you deal with criminals. That's not how you're supposed to approach the situation. Like, this guy's already guilty and I'm blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not the mentality that cops should have or citizens should have when dealing with the police. Like, that's not how it works.
But the cops knew who this guy was coming in there, did they not?
No, like...
They'd ran his identity previously, and they saw that he had, like, a rap sheet, and he's a sex offender, and he's
that's, like, something we don't
times.
know, because, like, that will be showing up in, like, the... Like,
I'm pretty sure I read that, but alright, whatever. Assuming he doesn't or whatever.
I mean, again, if he does have past charges and he deserves to be fucked for it, then that's something that the courts decide. It's not up for a police officer to decide.
That's something for courts to decide. But the argument we're making is that if you're a criminal and you have a criminal background, you're constantly running into cops and you're not cooperating, and you end up getting shot.
Yeah, but this is the problem. The first part of your statement is what makes it all fucked. If you're a criminal, what if you're not a criminal though, and you get treated like one, and you get fucking shot and killed?
In this instance, he was.
And you don't
In this instance, he was, but let's say that I aim let's say that I take out my fucking Mosin and I fire off a fucking round in the air and it happens to land and kill a criminal. Then can I go like, well, in this instance where I shot, I happened to kill a criminal. Does that mean that I was right to pull the trigger? No, like that's not how it works. No, it's not different. No, because you're specifically saying no, because you're specifically saying that if a cop acts in a bad manner, but in this particular instance it was okay, that all of a sudden the means justify or the ends justify the means. That's not how that works, though.
That's like
it's literally the law of averages. Like if
no, you can't take the law of that. What does that have to do with treating citizens fairly? What? It's a completely different thing.
Because they're not cooperating. You're saying, hey, get on the fucking ground, and they're not doing it, and your experience of being a cop all the time.
No, okay, and then there are penalties for that. Yeah,
fucking criminals.
Yeah, you resisting arrest, and then you can arrest them and you can charge them for resisting arrest as well. But in the United States of America, federally, we have not decided as a people that resisting arrest is grounds for execution by a police officer. That is nothing that's been decided for federal law.
Not execution, but if you're going to fight with a cop, if you as a criminal are willing to put other people's lives in danger for your own benefit,
well, hold on now. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you talking about putting other people's lives in danger, or are you talking about fighting a cop? Because you just said two totally different things there.
Right?
No, those are two totally different things. If you pull out a gun or a knife and you're in a public place and a cop shoots you, then yeah, you're fucking dead, dude. It's whatever. But if
going
you're
for a gun as a criminal is putting someone else's life below yours. You want to kill them.
But we don't know
so
if he's a criminal or not. And we don't know if he was going for his gun. If the guy was on the gun, sure. If the guy on the ground was legitimately reaching into his pocket to try to take out his gun and fucking shoot a cop, then yeah, of course, and sure, then you shoot him or whatever.
Isn't that what the cops said in the video, that the guy was going for his gun?
He's going for his fucking gun.
Shouldn't it be your prerogative to side with the police officer who's 99% of the time good versus the criminal who's 99% of the time bad? And I say criminal because people who do not obey commands to get on the fucking ground 99% of the time are going to be a fucking criminal versus just a fucking college student. When a cop tells some random person who's never been arrested, hey, get on the fucking ground, you think they're going to fight with the cops? Pretty fucking rare.
I mean, it depends on the person. Like, I don't know.
Well, do you think it's likely?
I don't know. Probably not likely. But again, we don't deal in terms of like, is it likely? Like, if you walk by and there's like a dude running away from the scene of a crime, a cop doesn't just pull out his gun and start shooting. Be like, well, I don't know. He could have been the dude that killed him, so I had to fucking nail this dude in the back 8 times. Like, no. I mean, that's not how that's not how that works. You don't do like, well, it's likely he could be fucked up, so I better fucking take this motherfucker down right now. Like
it's not frontier justice. Like,
yeah, like that's not how our legal system works.
I didn't say that they should have executed the guy. However, if they felt that their life was on the line and we can't see all the details,
sure.
I think that they're justified in doing it.
If they did,
sure.
If they did, sure.
But that's what they said in the thing.
Yeah, I mean, but you need more footage to decide, because the footage that exists right now looks really bad for the cops. Maybe additional footage can get rid of.
Absolutely, the footage looks like shit, right? And if the guy does not have a gun, like these cops are fucked. Right, but if the dude does have a gun, then like, yeah, I think it's probably likely the dude was going for his gun. Like, I don't think any cop is like out there. Like,
again, in the United States of America, we have a Second Amendment that protects your right to carry and bear firearms. Like, just because you own a gun, just because you own a gun doesn't mean that you can get fucking shot for having one. Like
the guy in the car.
Yeah, like that's another really fucked up. But even at that, as much as I think that looks bad, we don't have full footage of that one either. But I mean,
is that the one where the cop is crying afterwards?
Yeah, where I mean, but
shouldn't be a cop, dude. The guy did not want to fucking do it, man.
No, it goes to show that the police officer is mentally unstable and shouldn't be carrying a fucking firearm. That dude should not have a fucking gun. He was literally bawling outside of the fucking car.
He probably knew he fucked up and was like,
I don't know if he knew he fucked up. He probably felt his life was on the. It shows one thing for sure. He didn't want to fucking shoot someone.
I mean, it's possible. And I'm using circumstantial to say this, but I mean, a guy with no criminal record, a black dude that went out of his way to get a CCW, that has his family in the fucking car, like, that even said beforehand that he was carrying a concealed weapon, like, I mean, I don't know. Again, there could be footage released. Maybe that black dude did fuck up, but whoa, that looks really bad when the cop is literally crying outside of the fucking car and like bawling his eyes out, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know, man.
I mean, I think that even looks better than just being like, yeah, well, you shouldn't have gone through that shit while you're there, acting all smug. That seems like a fucking cold-blooded motherfucker versus someone who really did not want to have to fucking do this.
This guy makes him seem human, but like...
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a guy who just wanted to go and fucking do his job, and your fucking retard boyfriend there went for his fucking gun like an asshole, and he got shot.
Well, but we don't know if he went for his gun.
He said,
yeah, what the fuck, dog?
No.
Yeah, he told him beforehand that he had a weapon.
For his license,
well, according to the witness,
shot.
who's kind of biased.
That's what I mean. We have to wait for the fucking cam, but...
Wait,
Most
even if
likely
you
from
said
how it,
beforehand
like,
that you have a
went
gun, how does that help anything? Like, just because you have a gun, that means you could...
Oh, he said he had concealed carry.
If you're oh fuck, I should know
Was
this
there
in my
concealed
classes.
carry?
But
There is no
if you get
concealed
pulled,
carry. Fuck off.
no, yeah,
No,
he
no,
said
we're talking
he
about
said
the
he has a
car
CCW weapon, or he's
What?
got
Is
a.
it Chalmers? There's no way with the criminal background that guy's has.
No,
Why
No,
would
no,
you
no, no,
know
no,
the
no,
other
no.
guy?
We're in a different case. We're in a different story. Different story.
Oh.
Did you see
I'm
the other
sorry,
one
bro.
in Florida
Man.
this weekend or no?
No,
He got
there's
shot in
too
the
many
arm.
killings for one day, dude.
It's like
No,
back
he
to
didn't
back,
die.
dude. Back to back black people killings. Yeah, no, it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
The guy in the car didn't die though. He was just shot.
No, I thought he
In
died.
the hospital.
Yeah.
He died in the hospital that night, so...
Oh shit, never mind.
And we've seen that video where the guy drives off and then the guy gets executed.
Wait, if he died in the hospital, that's gross negligence on the parts of the doctors, right?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
You guys remember that one where like he pulls him over and then he starts to drive off and he pulls out his gun and kills him?
Wait, what?
But wasn't he like trying to run over the cop though? Isn't that kind of different?
I mean, not really.
I mean,
He was like behind the car.
that comes down to like the thing, did he fear for his life? Because like if he actually did think he was about to going to be ran over or whatever, then... Or if he thought the guy might hurt someone else, then...
So just really quickly, one thing. When you're empowered under the color of law to use deadly force to kill someone, don't you think you should have a heightened burden to, demonstrate cause? Parkman, no?
No, I think if you
When you're
if you
empowered
feel your
under
life is
law-
at risk and you're
when you're
reacting to
empowered
that,
under
I
law
would take
to
your life
legally-
over mine.
To legally kill someone, don't you think you should have some sort of scrutiny?
Yeah, the
Some sort of
scrutiny
heightened
is,
scrutiny?
was your life in imminent danger? And if these cops said that their life was in imminent danger, then fucking burden met.
Okay, but here's like one of the trials I know personally for self-defense, right? Is if a guy comes up to you and like what you feel puts you into to where your own personal safety is threatened will vary rightfully, and even I believe Apple is even under the law in the courts based on who you are. If you are a 6'2", if you're a 6'2", 250-pound fucking football player, and like somebody of my size comes up to you and hits you, and you like turn around and shoot me, right? I'm pretty sure that wouldn't hold up in self-defense under court. But if I were to walk up to a little woman who is like 4'9" and like hit her and she ends up shooting me, that's something that's much more likely to hold up because of the differences in capabilities of both those people, right? For a police officer, just because you feel like like, oh shit, my life might be in danger, the first thing, just pulling out a gun, like fucking shooting somebody and killing somebody, like isn't the same as like a completely and totally innocent, untrained civilian who might happen to have a gun.
Well, the main thing is you have a reasonable person standard, right? And when you're looking at a cop, you apply it to a reasonable police officer. So you'd say, what would a reasonable police officer do under those circumstances? You can't take your individual, perception of threat or harm and apply it to the circumstance. You have to look at, essentially,
from the point of a
average
trained
every single
police
cop.
officer, yeah.
But you guys
every
are
single
blaming the
cop
cops,
who's
but I feel like
reasonably
this is
well trained and see how they would react in that circumstance.
Really
isn't this
derpy,
the
dumb
training
question.
that they have for this is like protect your officer's life, protect your own life first.
Yeah, but
Rather than-
lethal
Wait.
force isn't the first alternative. It's supposed to be the very last. That's like your nuclear option. When you pull out a gun, it's literally to kill someone because all other options have
That
been
was my argument
exhausted.
about the
Just as a
Sterling
part of
thing.
Can you
that black
even
guy
put a
first one was
gun in your
tased.
back jean pocket? Like, isn't there a special case
He
for
had
it
it
that
on
it's
his
strapped
pocket on
to?
the side. In his side pocket. That's where
I
he
don't
kept
think
his
it's
gun.
well, when you say the last option, it might be the last option you'll have to react in time, right? Maybe they could have kept interacting with a guy and maybe he wouldn't have been able to do something. But if he had his hand on a gun in the pocket and he was reaching out for it, like, do you sit there and wait and be like, okay, well, it's not pointing at me yet. I'll keep waiting. Maybe we'll get control of his arm. And he'd be like, listen, one fucking slip up right
I mean,
now,
was
and
the
I'm
gun
dead.
still
You
in his
take the reaction.
pocket? Like,
Yes, it
We
was.
don't know. Again, it's all speculation.
Well,
but
no,
as I
they
said,
pulled it
I
out of
think
his
it's
pocket
they-
afterwards.
They pulled it out.
they pulled it out? Oh,
On the
so
video,
then...
you can see them pull it
Oh,
out of
okay.
his pocket. So at most, he probably reached into his pocket and then they.
It's just
What if it wasn't
just
a gun and it was a knife?
No,
you
sure.
know, change the situation.
No, it's just the idea that police officers are supposed to have special training that gives them control of scenarios so that they don't have to resort to lethal force unless it's an absolute last result, right? Or last resort. That's why police officers ask you to see your hands at all times. They don't like it when you duck your hands down. That's why police officers don't like you reaching into pockets. It's like that's why they pull you out. If there's a fucked up situation, a police officer will sometimes put you in handcuffs and temporarily detain you just so that they have control over the situation, so that they don't have to react to shit that they don't want to have to react to, right? That's like part of the job of being a police officer. You don't just let people do like crazy shit and then shoot them instantly if they do something that makes you a little bit nervous, you know? Like police officers are supposed to be trained to get control of situations without having to kill somebody immediately just because something goes like a little bit fucked up, you know?
Well, you know, I agree a lot with something you said yesterday, is when you deal with the cops, you have to treat them like a mentally unstable lunatic.
Okay, but when I said that was me insulting police officers. That wasn't me being in it. That's how I do it because I don't want to get killed. But I don't think
that's
that
how most people deal with it.
But that doesn't mean that if somebody doesn't treat them in that way that they just earned their execution. Like that's fucked.
I completely agree, but I think that it's a fucking warning sign when most of society knows when you're dealing with the fucking cops, when someone whose job all day is dealing with fucking scumbags who are trying to get one up on society, that you gotta play it fucking cool because these guys are putting their life on the line to fucking protect you.
Okay, but especially when you're a cop, dog, like everybody has their own fucking life and everybody has their own fucking shit going on. Like if I were to get pulled over by a cop after losing like 10 straight games of fucking League, like I don't know what the fuck kind of shit I'm gonna say. Maybe I'll be in a lot more of a pissed off mood at that point. You know, maybe you have somebody emotionally compromised because they're driving home from work and they just got fucking fired. Or maybe they got into a huge fucking fight with their spouse. Or, you know, maybe they had some horrible fucking shit happen to them on the job by a customer. Like there's tons of shit. People are emotionally compromised all the time. People could be in different moods.
And they're
like
gonna take more care with you. I'm not saying they get to kill you.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is
you're gonna be in fucking trouble.
Yeah. I think we have like fundamentally different views on how law enforcement is supposed to function. I understand what you're saying, but
the problem is I think you guys kind of want this utopian society.
No, just the opposite. No, just the opposite. The difference is you're suggesting these things. You're doing the Trump thing where like everything that Trump says about terrorists, right? Remember when Trump talked about Saddam? Like Saddam is really good and strong because he killed terrorists. Like he didn't ask them questions and shit. Well, yeah, you know, that shit works.
Women and children.
No. I mean, like those kinds of things work and what you're saying works. But the problem is you're at the conclusion past the process. And what you're forgetting is, you know, like, well, if a criminal is really fucking violent, does some shit, yeah, he gets killed. Okay, but what if he's not a criminal, right? Same thing with Saddam Hussein or killing terrorists. Like, oh, you don't read the terrorist rights. Okay, that's sure, but what if they're not a terrorist? Like that's the problem.
Yeah,
those are the questions that you have to ask. It's really easy to say after the fact that like, well, this criminal's acting like a scumbag fuckboy piece of shit. Of course you shoot him. Okay, sure, but what about the guy that just broke up with his girlfriend and was just emotionally compromised? And he's outside and the cop shouted at him and the guy was kind of fucked in the head and turned around too fast and got shot and killed now, and say it was a good kid who was a fucking academic success and, you know, on his way to doing good things in life, and now he got killed because a cop reacted quickly. Well, in that situation, you know, like, well, I guess that same idea that, well, he fucking was acting shady, he should have gotten killed, like, it doesn't really hold up there. You know, you have to look at all the possibilities when you're analyzing how people should act in situations.
Well, I mean, look, it's an unrelated circumstance. I'm sure you remember, like, all these cases where the cops shoot, like, kids with a toy gun, and then there's community outrage because the cops should have known that that wasn't a real gun, and people are trying to put the cops on trial. Like, I look at
don't strawman me though, dog. I'm not going to defend those kids. There are kids that got shot because they removed the little orange caps from the tops of the guns. Those motherfuckers should have gotten shot. I don't disagree with that at all. If you're pulling out a gun that looks like a real fucking gun and you remove the little orange markers on it that makes it clear it's the toy, then yeah, you're gonna get fucking shot. There's no other way. Fucking even if a citizen would have shot him, yeah, like even if a CCW would have shot those dudes, like I don't think criminal charges should be brought in. I'm like, fuck that shit. Yeah, obviously, I'm not gonna defend those people. That's not what I'm talking about at all, though.
Wait, I'm just wondering, there's a lot of criminals in America, like on a per capita basis, yeah? And there's easy access to guns. Do you guys ever feel unsafe in like day-to-day life?
No, in the United States,
No?
crime is very, very, very segregated. You know if you're in a shit part of the city that's more likely to have a shooting versus if you're in a part of the city that never gets shot up. The crime
kind of like, I was trying to explain that to someone yesterday, like...
Because like, I hear so much shit about all these murders in America, and all these cops killing people, and all these criminals and shit, and like... Dude, I would never want to live in that country.
Most of us just remember
it's good news as well, isn't it? The news love a good murder.
Of course.
So
Murder's always good in the news.
Well, per capita
Good
gun
things
violence in the
don't,
United
right?
States is still very fucking high. 12,000 homicides a year isn't anything to scoff at. But all of that crime tends to be segregated against fucked up cities and in fucked up parts of cities. Like I know
you've got gang problems. Obviously, is a big part of it. I'm sure.
Like,
Sure.
Chicago, there was like I think the report was like 76 people died on 4th of July in Chicago alone. Like
yeah, but nobody cares. Nobody cares about
No one
people
cares
getting
'cause
killed in
it's all gang
Chicago.
violence,
Well, and because the guys aren't Muslim or anything, so and it's not white people getting killed, so nobody cares.
What the fuck?
I was trying to explain that to someone yesterday. Like, I think a lot of like foreign nations and countries and people like give our police a lot of bad rap by just comparing it to their own. But our police go through a lot of different things than their police.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I do. Yeah, like I think that like 'cause somebody was talking about like Canadian police, like, and they wouldn't do that, but yeah, like in Canada, the chances of the perp having a gun are fucking
it is a very
way
different-
lower than in the United States.
If you're not in the U.S., you really
United
don't
States
understand.
police officers probably have to deal with more
Like,
shit than like
going into a
military
bad-
personnel in every part of the
Yeah.
fucking world. Like,
Going into like a bad neighborhood in like I don't know Canada as a police officer is like a completely different experience than going to like a bad
versus
neighborhood
driving around in the
like,
open in parts of Detroit or oh fuck, where was the wire?
Chicago.
Chicago and
Iraq.
Like
what's
I tried to explain
wait,
this
what's
to
the
someone
horrible
yesterday.
fucking place that
Harlem.
that the wire is set in? What's the city?
Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah, or fucked up parts of Baltimore, whatever.
Harlem's pretty nice right now. That's
Harlem's
gentrified
not
like
bad
a
at all
motherfucker.
anymore. Harlem's completely
it's like 20 years.
That's where you buy real estate if you want to
Fucking-
be
We got
rich
that
in 15 years.
gentrification meme going on, dog.
for a studio apartment. Fucking.
That's
The
what
white
we
people
do.
have
Do you
moved
think
in.
like Kendrick has like a big part of that or no? Because he's been pushing for like less gang violence and shit in like Compton or not Compton, or yeah, Compton. For a
No,
while.
dude,
Harlem and Compton
Harlem's
are
gentrifying like a motherfucker.
across the country from each other.
Yeah, no,
Because
but,
it's one of the last it's like the new hipster area of that. It's like the Mission in San Francisco. So you have all the
Well, yeah, that's because all the development people moved in and bought up all the shit and kicked all the black people out, right? Wasn't that the point?
Columbia bought up all the property, and then they're like, oh, we can't have poor people here, so
Yeah,
time
so
to,
they moved them the fuck out.
Yeah.
They Oaklanded them.
No, yeah, that's literally what they did.
a lot of
They
Harlem
started like
wasn't
bulldozing projects.
rent stabilized or rent control as well. So it was actually easier to get a lot of them out as well.